Well. Yesterday I'm making a video about don't panic, just hold on to your ass. And today, the S&P is up 10% in one day, damn near. This is why yesterday I said just dollar cost average in and don't worry about it. The market's blowing up on breaking news that we got. If you haven't seen it, heard it yet, Trump's announced they're putting a 90-day pause on all the tariffs. The reciprocal tariffs are going to be 10% regardless, but otherwise all the higher ones that they came out and announced just a little while ago have all been paused for 90 days to allow for negotiations. Except for China, who's getting slapped with a 125% tariff. They were at 84%, and they were talking about pushing it to 104%. China came out and retaliated with an 84% tariff, and now Trump says because due to a lack of respect, they're putting a 125% tariff on China, effective immediately. I mean, I don't know. This is legitimately why the going advice, the good advice is just dollar cost average in, and you just keep buying, and you just don't worry about it. Don't even think about your investment accounts, because hey, if you saw the markets earlier the last couple months, you're like, damn, we're so far down. You sell. You're like, I'm not sitting through this whole downturn we're about to go through. And then you miss one day of 10% growth upside. And that's what you don't want to miss out on. So you just dollar cost average in and hope for the best. But, I mean, we went from, and like, don't get me wrong, we could go right back down tomorrow. Like, that's the game here. Like, this is the most volatility I've ever personally seen, besides COVID, I guess, which was like the craziest black swan, craziest outlier event possible. But it's going to be all over the place. We're not going to see stability for a while, I don't think. It's going to be crazy, is what it is. Trump and his team of people, whoever's running this in the background, whoever's doing the research, doing the analysis, you're going to have Trump supporters coming out and saying, hey, look, I've already seen it multiple times. It's the art of the deal. It's the plan. This was the plan the whole time. And then you have detractors, obviously. Anybody who's against Trump going to say, hey, he still has the markets down overall. That he's still a dumbass. This retard doesn't know what he's doing, blah, blah, blah. To be honest, I don't know which one's which anymore. I don't think it's worth the effort to try to figure it out, because you're not going to be able to get inside his head. I mean, if he comes out and tells you what's happening, maybe, but it's all going to be dictated by the retrospective. When we look back on this in 6 months to a year and see what happened, that's when you're going to be able to tell what was going on. I'd say, if I had to guess, though, I'm giving him probably 70-30, 80-20. This was all the plan the whole time. I've personally been thinking the entire time, I mean, I never saw the reciprocal tariffs that they came out with, this concocted number coming out. Like, they just took the trade deficit and did some funky math to it and got these reciprocal tariffs. I never really saw that coming. A lot of people thought it was unrealistic anyway, and then turns out they paused it anyway. It seems like they're going for more of a realignment, and like this is a carrot and the stick situation where it's like, hey, we will, which I've said that from the beginning. You had to the threat had to be real. I think they went almost too far with the threat, honestly. They said we're going to drop a 40% tariff on you. I think that's too far in the other direction, to be honest. But now we're back to 10%, which is a lot more manageable, a lot more reasonable than where we were at before. China still, we import the most stuff from China. It's not even close. So that's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. But stock market loves it. Like I said, Monday, we literally had, what's his name? Jim Cramer. If you don't know who he is, he's a stock market analysis talk show guy. I knew who he was before I got into stock market stuff, literally from Iron Man, the Iron Man movie. He's in the beginning of the Iron Man movie when he's talking about whatever, Stark Industries or whatever collapsing, something like that. He is notoriously wrong. This man gets so much shit wrong, it's crazy. I don't know what it's like to be him. You make millions of dollars to be wrong all the time. It's like people have stock portfolios that trade the inverse of what this man says, okay? Monday, he was calling for a Black Monday. Not only did we not have a Black Monday, which this week hasn't been great, don't get me wrong, but we didn't have a Black Monday. Then on Wednesday, today, we see one of the biggest moves to the upside in the S&P in this is historical move, okay? Like, not since like 2008 we've seen this much of a increase. It's impossible to predict in my mind, unless you have insider information, which I thought was a funny anecdote. There's a bunch of people talking about it on Twitter that right before this news comes out, well, one, we'll get into that in a second. But first off, Donald Trump himself comes out on Truth Social and says, hey, it's a great time to buy this morning. Stock market kind of is flat all day. 90-day pause, 125% on China. Stock market explodes. Literally, the President of the United States, we've hit a point where the President of the United States is basically giving out investment advice and then manipulating the market later in the day for trillions of dollars of movement in the stock market. Now, what I think is funny is there's definitely he could tweet that any day and there's no way for you to know. Now, if he tweets that again, everybody will buy just reflexively, I guess. But before that, there was no way to know that anything's actually going to happen. But apparently some people knew, because there's huge moves right before this announcement to buy calls, options. They're buying basically bullish calls and buying in these which I'm assuming they're hedge funds, or private people who have millions and millions of dollars, but they're buying like way crazy call options right before this announcement. Insider trading. I wish I was connected enough to be able to do some insider trading, but sadly, we all don't have connections like that and money like that, and if we did it, we would go to jail, but these people get away with it. Sucks to suck, I guess. I don't know. It is what it is. Like I said, the volatility is crazy. We got Goldman Sachs was calling for recession earlier in the week. They've now rescinded that call. You're not going to be able to keep up. The safe, smart strategy, hey, just dollar cost average in. Don't worry about it. And then you sit back, like how I feel right now, and just watch the chaos, because it's insane. It's entertaining, I'll give you that. Like I said, I've never seen anything like this in my life. You got people on social media being like, Trump's the greatest of all time. He's a genius. And then, hey, tomorrow if it tanks, you'll have the other side's calling him an idiot again. This is entertainment to me. I don't know how you feel. You have to let me know what you think, honestly. Like, have you ever seen something so crazy where the President of the United States is coming out on Twitter, basically, Truth Social, whatever the fuck his social media platform is, and actively market manipulating for 10% moves in the S&P. This is insane amounts of money moving, and he literally told you he was going to do it. I've never seen anything like it. You got to let me know what you think. Leave a comment if you would. I'd appreciate it. Drop a like on the video. Dislike it if you didn't tell me why, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow, and hopefully we don't drop 10%.